doggy. This is going to be a good episode. Okay, I am not going to hold back. I am going to turn up the dial on the heat. It is going to get hot in this kitchen. So if you can handle a little spice, then stick with me because today I am going to dish on 7 things that I would just tell you. I would just say it like it is, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, if I was not afraid of hurting your feelings, which I'm not. My intention is to make a difference for you. So that's where we're going to go today. Before we do that, let me welcome you to the Live Your Yes Life podcast. My name is Kaela. I am one of the hosts. I host this podcast along with what I think is the best partner a girl could ask for, my mom, Lisa Limata. We run our life coaching business, Rise Leadership Circle, where we coach entrepreneurs to, yes, live their yes life. And what that really means is be unapologetically the wholeness of who they are and have that be what creates their business, which then funds the dream life that they are desiring. It's really awesome work. And I love that this is the life that I get to live. And I'm so good that we're here. We have a book and a Facebook group by the same name as this podcast, Live Your Yes Life. Head over to Amazon or Walmart or Barnes & Noble online to find a copy of the book. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you, and this is really important before we get into today's episode. We have something big and juicy coming your way right now. And if you're listening to this like after the new year, after 2026, you could then get all of this on replay. So don't take yourself out. But if you're listening before we cross over into the new year of 2026, you can join us for all of this live, which is super juicy. So we have the Abundance Accelerator bundle now available for purchase. And currently there is like a super savings on it with a super juicy payment plan. So right away, if you're like, oh gosh, I got to take myself out of that, I want you to stay tuned for this whole podcast, okay? Because this is for you. So the Abundance Accelerator course kicks off. We're running it live in January. This is a course that we have been doing with our clients for years. I think that it was one of the first things that we did, and we have never put it to bed because it is so good. It gets so many results, and we're running it live again. The Abundance Accelerator course is for the person that currently does not feel completely in love with their relationship with money. So when you think about you and money, it is not a head over heels romance, but you wish that it was. That is who the Abundance Accelerator course is for. So we do the inner work that unhooks and drops the blame, the shame, the guilt, the here's what was with money, so that we can create a new space and a new pattern so that you can actually do money differently and get different results, okay? It is really powerful. You're going to get all of the modules, the workbook, the meditations that go with each module, and the live coaching every week. And right now, we have it as a whole bundle, which means that you also get access to the bonuses that come ahead of time. One of those bonuses is our Cash Creation Intensive. That is where we walk you through a process to help you create $1,000 in 1 week. We're doing that before Christmas, so the timing is right. 'Tis the season, right? And then we also have another bonus that is called Daily Downloads. And this is where you can get real-time pocket coaching from us for the 2 weeks leading up to the holiday season. This is one of our clients' most favorite things that we do is when we pop in your text box every day with a powerful message about what's going on, something that supports you to get out of your own way. And that's happening after Cash Creation Intensive to keep you moving to finish the year strong. So head over to the link in the show notes if you want information. Right now, we have payment plans available where you can join us for this whole bundle for less than the cost of a tank of gas a week. So that is juicy. Do not sleep on that, my friends. Go over there and check out the details. Okay, all that to be said, let's dive into why we're really here today, which is to hear about the 7 things that I would tell you if I was not afraid of hurting your feelings. And I want to start by saying that hurting your feelings is not at all my intention. I actually think that these 7 things are some of the most loving and generous things that I could say to you because they are truthful. And what often happens, and I experience this, is that we're out in the world and somebody is going through their own experience. Their circumstances feel so big and so real. And I'm not saying that circumstances aren't real, but it just feels a little like, let's say, awkward to when someone is sharing with you a circumstance or what's going on for them to be like, well, I actually have some food for thought that could change your perspective. And I do that all of the time. But when I am in an initial conversation with somebody or we haven't quite built a relationship yet, there's not always that window where I can tell that someone would be receptive to that. And so this is the method that I'm going to use since you have now come over here into my house with my podcast. I don't feel like I am encroaching or passing a boundary. And I am assuming that you are coming with an open mind. You're coming to really hear some truths, some wisdom that could help to create a shift and a breakthrough for you instead of just keeping on with the same old circumstances. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to pop some holes. Today, this is the day where instead of me just being like, oh, yeah, bummer, I'm like, hey, there's actually a different way to think about those things. So here we go. Here's number one. This is the first thing I would tell you if I was not afraid of hurting your feelings. You are not taking money away from your family. You are getting the support so that you can receive the money that will actually make a difference in funding their lives. Okay, let's back up. Now, that's often something that I want to say when people are in a conversation where they really want to invest. Maybe it's with us, in working with us to help bring their business to life, to bring their dreams to life, but it might not be with us. It is all good. If somebody is like, oh, we're not a fit, they're not going to hire me, that is all good. Often it is that you're wanting to invest in something that is going to support you to move forward with your dreams. And so whatever that is, maybe it's with the Abundance Accelerator course. Maybe it's with one of our mastermind or membership programs. Maybe it is even just buying our book, which is $17, available on Amazon. Shameless plug. Maybe it is a gym membership. Maybe it is, who knows what? Think about the desire that you have on your heart and you're like, this is the support that I really want to have. Okay. So often what people will say to me is like, I just can't take that money away from my family. I just can't take that money away from my family. And what I really want you to hear is that you are not taking money away from your family. You are getting support so that you can actually receive money that will make a difference in funding their lives, in moving their lives forward. Okay. And this, of course, depends on what it is. If you're like, well, what I really want is to buy a TV, that's not the same thing. That's not really what I'm talking about here. And I have a real life example on this that just came up. I already had my notes planned for this. And then I was in a one-on-one coaching conversation with a client yesterday, and she brought the perfect example for this. So I'm going to share the high level details here. So she came to me and said, okay, so my family and I have decided that we are going to hire a house cleaner at least one time a month. And that's going to make a really big difference. But what I really want is someone to come every week. But it just feels like, man, that's a lot of money to take away from my family, right? And so we just said, well, let's look at it. How many hours a week are you currently dedicating to cleaning your house? And she did the math and figured out it was 4 hours a week. Okay, 4 hours a week. That now her energy is split because she's trying to be present with her family. She's also trying to work her business from home. She's also trying to make sure that the house is clean. And she's like, yeah, that 4 hours, it's not even that I want to work 4 hours more a week. It's just that I want to have quality focused work hours where I know that I can put my energy there while my kiddo's at school, while my husband's at his job, and the house is also clean so everyone has what they need. So we identified that that extra cost would be $900 a month. That if she was going to pay for the cleaning that she actually wants, it would cost her family $900 a month. And so we were looking at that and sitting with that. And then we talked about if you had these 4 focused, dedicated hours per week, not even that you're working more, you just get to put your focus there, what would that make available for her family? And she's been in business for a long while, so she knows how to calculate this math. She was like, honestly, Like in a 6-week period with that, I would be generating an extra $9,000. $9,000 for my family. And so we sat with that and said, okay, so in 1 month, you could spend $900 on cleaning, but in 6 weeks, you can make $9,000 for your family. And we could see how the thought that, well, I don't want to take away the money from my family for cleaning. Like I could just clean for free. Yes, it would save her family $900, but it also interrupts her making $9,000. And that makes a significant difference in what she's able to provide funding wise for her family. And that just is true for so many things. I see it. I mean, she's a perfect example. She is my client, right? I see it with my clients all the time. That when we look at, okay, this isn't about me having a cost, it's actually about what resources am I accessing so that I can create a return on my investment, so that I can create more funds for my family. Being afraid to quote unquote take away from them is actually a scapegoat that you can use so that you don't have to trust yourself. Mic drop. Am I right? Let me say that again. Being afraid to quote unquote take away from them is actually a scapegoat that you can use so you don't have to trust yourself. Let's think about it with the example that I just gave. If my client is like, well, I'm just going to keep my energy split. I'm just trying to clean a little here, be a present mom and partner here, do my work over here. I don't really have to like show up and put my eggs in the basket and say, these are my goals. These are the results I'm creating. Here I go. Because my energy is split. But it's a little bit scarier when we're like, okay, I've made this investment to have this resource for my family and now I have these dedicated, focused work hours, and I'm going to show up and follow through. I'm going to do the thing that I said I would do. When we put that kind of trust in ourselves, it can get a little wobbly, but that's where the magic happens. Okay, and this brings me to the second thing that I want to say, if I wasn't afraid to hurt your feelings. It's the same thing when you're asking your partner for their buy-in. You do not need your partner's permission. Now, you may want to have a conversation with them. That's all good. I'm not here to get in the middle of your relationship or tell you how to live your relationship, but I do want to offer a new perspective. And here's what I'll offer. If you need explicit permission from your partner to make business decisions or decisions from the home that you know that you can support, when you need their explicit permission, you might want to have a look at that, right? There's something interesting going on if that's what's happening. Getting their approval only keeps you from having to take full accountability and trust yourself. So I'm not saying forget your partner. Who cares what they think? Just do what you want. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is notice why and how you're having the conversation with your partner. If what you're wanting is to get their buy-in, their approval, what's probably going on behind the scenes subconscious that you don't even realize is it's like, okay, if they agree, if they're like, yep, I agree, I think that's a good idea, or even if they're like, well, I don't really know, I'm not sure that it's a good idea, but I guess if it's what you want, you can do it. Now you can share the blame. And what happens is you let yourself off the hook because instead of having to fully trust yourself and show up to follow through and create the results that you declared, you're like, well, if it doesn't work out, we both agreed, we both thought it would be okay, and I guess we were both wrong, so we can share the blame on that. And that is not fair to your partner. A lot of times we have conversations with our partners because we want to be fair with them. So go and be fair with your partner. A much more empowering conversation to actually include your partner, treat them as an equal, treat them and you with respect, is to bring to them a conversation where you share, hey, this is a decision that I've made that I feel really good about. Here's what you can count on from me. Here's what this is going to look like. And I'm asking that you celebrate and trust that I'm making this decision. That is bringing your partner to the table. That is creating a level of trust and respect for both of you. Do not use your partner as a scapegoat so that you don't have to show up and trust yourself. It's not fair to either of you. Okay, thing number 3, I would tell you if I was not afraid of hurting your feelings. Here we go. It's not that you can't afford it. It's probably that you are not connected with your worth and you have a disempowered relationship with money. Now, I know. I can already hear you're like, girl, no, look at my bank account. Let me show you that there is no money there. Okay. I hear that. I'm not going to argue with that. But what about your ability to create money? Okay, you are a powerful creator. That is what I know if you are listening to this. You are a powerful creator. And so it is pretty disempowered to think, well, I don't have any money and I have no way to create money. And so I just can't have the things that I want. Like, that's a real bummer. Okay, that's a real downer. And what's going on? Like, so then we would ask, well, why couldn't you create the money, have the access to the things that you want? Because there is a disconnect with, am I actually worthy enough to receive that money and then to invest or spend or save or use that money in the way that I truly desire? Because so often it's easier for us to put that for other people, but not for ourselves. You can go and create the money and afford the money for what you want. I'm not going to subscribe to the idea that you are not that powerful. That if there's something you want, like it's just out of your reach. I'm not going to subscribe to that. I am here to have full belief in you. And this is an invitation for you to have that level of belief in yourself. So if there is something that you're desiring, even if it's bills that you want to pay or something that you want to, like maybe it's just your monthly retirement investment or a monthly savings account goal or paying off debt or making generous contributions, and you currently feel that you can't afford that, the place to look is not to your bank account. It is to yourself. It is your internal landscape. It's to reach down and plug into your worth that is already there and update your relationship with your belief in yourself so that your relationship with money can follow. Number 4 follows right along that theme. It's not that you don't have the time. It's that there is a part of you that is afraid of change. Why? Because whenever we're going to have anything new, even if it's the thing that we really want, that we've been working towards for years, there is a part of us, it might be buried in our subconscious, that is like, if the status quo is threatened, we don't know if that's good change. We're not sure how we want to be with that. So let's just sabotage. Let's make sure that we don't. And how do we sabotage? By getting busy, by filling our calendar, filling our schedule so that we don't have the time or that it's not the right time. My friends, there is an unlimited amount of time available to us right here, right now. Now, I know that we have an expiration date. I'm clear on that. But time is not the limited resource, okay? There is a part of us in our subconscious that is like, if you go and do that thing, if you follow through, life is going to be different. I actually see this a lot with the mompreneurs that I work with. Because what happens is they're like, okay, I really want to build my business. I want to give this a go. And doing that means that I may not, for a period of time, be as available and accessible to my family. Because right now, my business isn't really doing much and I'm available 24/7 and I can just, run around and be wherever I need or want to be. And if my business is rocking, then I'm going to have dedicated work hours. And even though what I want is my business to be rocking, it feels like it could threaten the relationship that I have with my family. And so we sabotage. So it's not that you don't have the time, it's that the status quo will be threatened or relationships might, flip upside down. Not saying that anything bad is going to happen. It's just that they're going to be different. Thing number 5, how you buy is how you sell. How you buy is how you sell. The energy that you bring to any situation where you are the buyer is the same energy that you are calling for other people to bring when you are the seller. So when you're the buyer or the potential buyer and you are angry or annoyed that people are making invitations to you or you are ghosting other people, that is the energy that you are inviting in when you are the seller. Now, let me be clear. I am not in any way saying that every time someone makes an invitation, you should just immediately say, yes, of course, here's all my money. That is not what I'm saying at all. It's important that we are making aligned buying decisions. And it is absolutely okay to say, hey, thanks for the invitation. This is a no for me. I'm going to pass right now. It is so okay to say that. But notice if you are bringing the same energy as a buyer that you want sellers to bring to you. I hear this all the time. People are like, I'm just like so frustrated that all these people are making invitations to me, but my business just isn't growing. I'm like, let's have a look at that. Let's look at the energy that you're bringing. If you are mad about sales, then you are mad about sales. So pay attention to the energy that you bring as a buyer. Be an excellent buyer. Be an exceptional buyer. That is how you become a great seller. And again, that does not mean that you have to be buying all over left and right. It's just that when there is something aligned for you to buy it with integrity in the way that you want other people to buy from you. And when it's not for you, just be super clear. Thank you for the invitation. I'm a no for that. I'm going to pass. That is it. It can actually be that easy. You were the one making it weird and wonky. When you ghost, people are get annoyed. The sixth thing that I would tell you if I was not afraid of hurting your feelings. You do not have to do it the same way that you see other quote unquote successful people doing it. And spinning your wheels, trying to figure out and not being in action because you're just trying to figure out what they're doing. So you're just spinning your wheels like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? And then you're not in action is not helping you. It's not getting you anywhere. What would actually get you somewhere is to own your path, your design, your way, and to be in action around that. It's great to be inspired, but just notice if someone is doing something that is just not in alignment for you, that is just not the way that is a match for your design, then choose your own adventure, my friend. You do not have to compare yourself to what other people are doing. You are in this race with you, and you are one of a kind. So get in your lane, focus on your work, bring your own vision to life. That is what is going to get you further. And the seventh thing that I will tell you, since I am not afraid of hurting your feelings, is that you are allowed to be messy and make mistakes. You are allowed to start before you have it all figured out. You do not have to get ready to get ready to get ready. You are allowed to jump and sew your parachute on the way down. That is the journey of an entrepreneur. That is the journey of a leader. What counts is how you clean things up. It's not all going to go according to plan. And when you take ownership and responsibility and say, okay, this didn't go according to plan. Here, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to take ownership for my side of this. That moves you forward. So stop stalling, getting ready to get ready because you're playing for perfection, which does not exist, and jump in the messy middle. Get going. Learn as you go. Learn in the trenches. That is what the actual successful entrepreneurs are doing. And that is also you, my friend. You do not have to keep getting ready to get ready. You can start right now. So these are the 7 things that I've just had on my heart that I want you to hear me say because I care. Because I want you to know that you're allowed to invest in yourself and it will support your family. That you are allowed to be in a partnership where you have respect and trust and you give that to your partner too. You are allowed to connect with your worth and create from that place. You're allowed to create change in your life and find the way forward from that change. You are allowed to be an exceptional buyer and bring that energy into how you sell. You were allowed to follow your own path, and you were allowed to have it be messy and to clean up anything that did not go according to plan. I hope that this resonates for you today. I would love for you to come and find me over on the socials and let me know which one of these 7 is really resonating for you. And also be sure that you check out the link in the show notes below about the Abundance Accelerator course. We have it wrapped up in a whole bundle right now. If you are ready to get out of your own way and actually start having things go different for you with money, this is the time to join us. I will see you on a future episode and hopefully in the Abundance Accelerator course. See you soon.